Hey out there, this is April 18th, 2015. And today, as usual, I'm going to talk about a few different things. I wanted to start out by talking about a piece I saw on the Alex Jones channel on YouTube. It was a woman that used to work for RT. If anybody is familiar with RT, I viewed it on several occasions. I like to watch the Kaiser Report, which comes on RT. I think he's one of the very, very, very few honest economists in the world, because the vast majority of economists are nothing more than liars and brown-nosed sycophants, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think they're stupid people, but I think they're out for their own interest, self-serving, at the expense of the public at large. They really don't care that honesty will bring them integrity. They care more that dishonesty will bring them profit. And I believe that Max Kaiser is a, he bucks the trend of these economists. And so they don't like to accept him because of his candor and his honesty and integrity when it comes to economic issues. He's a straight shooter and he says it like it is. And a lot of people don't welcome that. But I'm one of those people that welcomes it with open arms, because this is the only way we're going to get to the bottom of things, not only in America but around the world. And while people in Greece may not have any concerns about the Federal Reserve and dollars, they are feeling the implications, the ramifications of bad financial policy, and everything around the world ties into economics of the United States, because the United States is known to be the most powerful country on earth, militarily speaking. And so we kind of get our way with the might makes right philosophy, which of course need not have any basis in reality, but nevertheless, that is the perception of that they convey, and that they actually are able to glean from their policies and the fact that America is a formidable military power. So having said that, I wanted to talk about this woman that the former reporter for RT, that was, she was speaking before the House Foreign Affairs Committee, I believe it was, and she was speaking about bloggers and how these are a real danger to the establishment, that they were akin to a cult. And, I hope that, she has seen at least one of my videos and, figures I'm one of those guys, because there's nothing more I'd like to be than to be a thorn in the side of the establishment. And the establishment, as far as I'm concerned, is pure evil. It has nothing to do with Democrat, Republicans, conservative, liberals. It's all the same group as far as I'm concerned, and they don't like you to know that fundamental fact. They don't like you to know that at one time the Republicans were considered the liberal party. The establishment doesn't like you to know at one time the Democrats were considered the conservative party. They mix up terms. They like you in a state of confusion, Babylon, because if you're in a state of confusion, you're in a state of ignorance. You're in a state of deceit. You're in a state of disempowerment. Because as we all know, knowledge brings power. But in order to really attain true knowledge, you cannot be confused. Because if you're confused, you're uncertain. You really don't have knowledge. What you have is confusion. You have deceit. You have the Babylon factor, which is what these people are pushers of, what I call the Babylon factor. And they don't want you to be in the know. They want you to be just one of the masses that's out there like a chicken with your head cut off, thinking that this is a hopeless division between conservatives and liberals and Democrats and Republicans. And, this is the core problem, this particular division. And in some ways they're right, because to the degree that they've succeeded and they've been able to administer their program, which is this New World Order program, they have been successful at implementing this program through division. It's a divide and conquer policy. But it's not just Republicans and Democrats, conservatives, liberals, thinkers that they've divided. They've got us divided in every way imaginable. Race, creed, color, gender. There's no end to it. Religion, confusion about all these things. When really the state has become the daddy, the religion that could be trusted, right? Because all the other religions are poo-pooed by the establishment as they're fanatics and cultists, and it's just we can't have religion in the state, but it's okay for the state to act like this big bad religion, this totalitarian, authoritarian, really fascist in the sense that this is socialism in the bad sense, okay? Because remember, these people toy with words, and socialism or communism could be seen as actually a good thing if you look at it from the purest intent of the philosophers that came up with these ideas. It's this idea of collectivism, and we're going to have this utopia, this ideal society. We're going to have fairness, right? And the whole Robin Hood thing enters into the whole socialist dogma, whereby you take from the haves and give to the have-nots and distribute the wealth fairly and all that. So you can see where a socialist can really think that they're the high-minded ones and the good guys. But if you look at it like, socialist, Soviet Lenin-type socialism, this is bad. This is an authoritarian thing. This is a fascist thing, where it's this melding of the state with private interests. They work together collaboratively, collusively, against the people at large. And as long as they stay in a position of power, they're okay with that. As long as they are the authorities that we have reverence for, that we are intimidated by, that we fear, then they're okay with that thinking. This is why they're so anti-gun, typically, the establishment, is because that's a threat to their, what they call their legitimate power monopoly, and which, of course, anybody in their right mind needs to be opposed to. So the masses really need to wake up to the program at large that's being perpetrated upon the public at large. And the only way to do that is to cut through the crap, get down to the meat of the matter. And the meat of the matter is that this Federal Reserve they don't give a crap what party affiliation you are, what race, creed, color, religion, lack of religion, what gender you are, nothing. They don't care about your economic class, unless you're one of the very, very few at the very top of this chain. Then you are out of the loop. They don't want you, they don't need you, they don't care about you. You're just one of the teeming hordes of useless eaters and feeders that they need to get rid of. And now they're out in the open about this program. For centuries, the same element of people have kept their agenda hidden. But they're haters of humanity by and large. And unless they can benefit and profit from you as a slave, and they need you as a slave or a consumer for their purposes, then they don't need you at all. And that's the situation we have today, is they don't need us. They've got equipment, technology that can take the place of the vast majority of people. So they don't need all these slaves anymore, these useless feeders. They don't need the consumers anymore because of market manipulation and price fixing. They found a way to control these things right in our face. People don't understand it. People have bought the line, hook, line, and sinker. They bought this program because they know psychology, these people, this Illuminati class, this hypocrite class, these elitist class, the money printing class, the political class, and all the minions that go along with this inadvertently and advertently, intentionally and unintentionally. You've got the deceivers, you've got the deceived, and then you've got the people that are awake, that really are on the side of humanity, that say, no, these people are the liars, they're deceivers, and that there are solutions to our problems, but that is the last thing on earth these people want. You understand, if you get rid of the chaos through the dubious war, this is life and death, life and limb. This is horrific things these people are perpetrating upon us. because I'm all for a righteous war, like kicking Hitler's butt, or any other thug, dictator, genocidal maniac that comes up. Let's go kick their butt. So guys, I'm all for it. We're all warriors at heart. We're all into protecting the innocents. We're all defenders and protectors. We get that. We're in our right mind. So in that sense, I'm pro-war, but I'm still a pacifist because I hate violence. And so I say use violence only as a last recourse. And only to, to fight fire with fire when you've got to, in the name of protecting innocents, which was definitely the case of Nazi Germany, Hitler, in what he was doing to not only the Jews, but he was doing to many Christians as well, and poor people, gypsies and whatnot. So, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm talking about dubious war. I'm talking about uncertain war. And the way they're able to rally support is by keeping this element of chaos and fear and intimidation of the public. They love ISIS because ISIS is that boogeyman. So these people are one and the same as far as I'm concerned. If they're offended by that, I'm sorry, that's too bad, because we've got decent people working in our government. And now I'd like to talk a little bit about, segue into one of Alex Jones' reporters, this fellow Joe Biggs, and the fact that he and another reporter are down in Mexico. They went down there recently on the border with Texas and El Paso, Texas, I believe, and they're down in this very dangerous area of Mexico, and they are trying to find an ISIS encampment that they had heard about. Juarez, I think, is the name of the Mexican territory or city, whatever, district. But it's known to be very dangerous. A lot of drug cartels. They get a lot of violence, a lot of beheading. Tens of thousands of people have been killed in the name of fighting this war against drugs, which is just absurdist in nature. I don't want to go into that because it's just too big of a distraction. I want to stay on point here in talking about, Joe Biggs down there with this great courage and, confronting, going to where these people are trying to have refuge and set up their training camps in Juarez, Mexico. And I really want to hand it to him and pay tribute to this fellow for doing that. And it's funny because the FBI, certain decent people working within the FBI, took interest in these reports because apparently, he's got access to do things that the FBI themselves don't have the authority to do. They would need all kinds of permitting by the Mexican authorities and whatnot. So at any rate, they showed interest and they gleaned any information from him. And, hats off to the whole operation exposing these people, because these are in-your-face thugs. And the only thing respectable about these in-your-face thugs as opposed to the New World Order thugs is that these people are in your face. They're doing these things out in broad daylight. They're doing their beheadings, their mass murder of Christians, Americans, and whatnot. Okay, and they've conflated, these people have ancient hatred of Christianity because they've conflated Catholicism, these crusades, with Christianity. But it's really the Roman Catholic Church that was acting like an out-of-control authoritarian state, acting like fascists, and trying to cram their form of legitimacy, their form of morality down the throats of Muslims and other people all around the world. This is how they rule. They kept the Bible from people because, knowledge represented power, and they wanted that kept to them. And they don't even, to this day, as far as I know, the Catholic religion does not tell their followers, their members, to study Scripture, to study the teachings of Jesus and find out firsthand for themselves that they don't need any kind of religious authority to tell them what to do, that God doesn't hide His will for us. It's all out in the open. It's there in the Bible, so you don't need to do anything. You can have church work